back to my channel. Today we are working on programming challenge 11. We're gonna skip programming challenge 10 because when I read the description of the programming challenge, the author said I have to subscribe to a website that that he listed in the book, and when I went to the website doesn't have the assignment that he is talking about. So we're gonna skip programming challenge 10 and we go to programming challenge 11, which is a programming challenge that we have to modify a class that we wrote in last chapter, programming challenge 1. The programming challenge that we have to modify, I copied the challenge, and it was employee and the production worker, if you remember. And in this programming challenge, we have to create 3 exception classes to check if the employee number is correct, to check if the pay rate is correct, and if the shift number is correct. So here in the employee class, I modified the employee number. Previously, it was a string because we had to create 5 characters in that programming challenge. But this programming challenge, they require that the employee number to be either between 0 through 9,999. So I used an int variable here, and in the employee constructor, it throws the invalid employee number, the class that I wrote for the exception, and inside the constructor, we check if the employee number is negative or it is greater than 9,999, and if it is, then we will throw the exception class. Otherwise, we will set the employee number just fine. And we didn't change much for the setters. For other fields, we change get employee number return data type to int, obviously. And here in the set employee number method, we throw the invalid employee number exception clause, and we check again if the employee number is negative or is greater than 9,999 number, and if it is, then we will throw the exception. Otherwise, we will set the employee number to employee number that is passed. Let me show you the exception classes here. Here is the first one, which is a simple exception class. It extends exception. It has 2 constructors. The first constructor doesn't take any argument, and it returns error invalid employee number. And the second constructor takes a int employee number, and it returns the employee number that is wrong here. So that's it for the employee number exception class. Here it's invalid pay rate is the same thing. We extend the exception and we create 2 constructors, and it will return an invalid pay rate. And lastly, the invalid shift will return an invalid shift. Also, it extends exception. So once after the employee class that we modified, I went to production worker, and the production worker, we have to modify the set pay rate and set shift methods. And here in the constructor for the production worker, it throws three classes: the invalid shift, the invalid pay rate, and invalid employee number that we saw. It throws all three of them. And here we pass all three variables. We inherit from employee class that we saw. And here we pass to the constructor of the employee to here. And in this shift, shift can only be one or two. One meaning day and two meaning night. And if it is not, we will throw invalid shift class. And here in the pay rate can only be a positive number. If it is 0 or negative, then we're gonna throw invalid pay rate here, and otherwise we will set the pay rate. And here the set shift, we have to throw invalid shift and check whether it is either 1 or 2. And if it's not, then we throw invalid shift. And here, set pay rate, we have to throw invalid pay rate, and we have to check if it is negative, if the pay rate is negative or not. If it is, then we're gonna throw invalid pay rate. Otherwise, we will set everything to pay rate. And that would be it for these two methods that we modified. And here is a main method. I created a try catch statement. The catch statement will catch all three classes that we created: invalid shift, invalid pay rate, and invalid employee number. If there is any errors of them, I created a production worker instance. I called it P, and I passed all the arguments: the name of the employee, the employee number. I gave it 40, hire date, and I gave January 1st, 1933, and shift I gave it 2, and pay rate I gave it 22. So let's just check each exception. We will start with a wrong employee number. If we give a negative number and we run the program, you should see error message here. The employee number must be between, yeah, we see here the employee number is -1. It's not a valid employee number. The employee number must be a positive number between 0 and 9,999. So if we give 10,000, I should get another error. Okay, how about if we give a correct employee number, which is between 0 and 9,999. Let's give it 4. That is fine. So the exception for the employee number passed. The next one that we have to check is the shift. The shift can only be 1 or 2, 1 meaning day and 2 meaning night. So let's give 3. error. The shift number 3 is not a valid shift number. Okay, so we're gonna say set it to 2. How about the pay rate? The pay rate can only be a positive number. It cannot be 0 or under. So let's set it with -1. The pay rate -$1 is not a valid pay rate. How about 0? It should catch it as well. Zero is not a valid pay rate. So you're gonna say 7.22. When we set it to the correct number, pay rate, it should print all the information for the employee. As you can see, all the information is printed, the name, the employee number, the hire date, the shift, and the pay rate. So I think that would be it, what they wanted. We just had to modify a couple of methods in the previous programming challenge and create these 3 exception classes. I didn't show you these exception classes because I showed you multiple times in this chapter, so I thought you guys know how to create these classes. It's quite simple. All you have to do is just create a class and extend the exception class and create 2 constructors. One is with no argument, and the other has 1 argument, and all you have to do is pass some text to the constructor of the exception class that you are inheriting from, and that would be it. So that is it for this programming challenge, 11 for chapter 10. So this would be the last programming challenge for this chapter. We're gonna start the next chapter, which would be chapter 11. That chapter will talk about a graphical user interface or GUIs, and I'm excited sharing with you guys how to solve these programming challenges. Thank you for watching, and if you find this video helpful, please give this video a like, and if you have any questions, please comment, and if you want to see similar videos, please subscribe to the channel. I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.